Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartell in with another edition of Coach's Corner. This time we go out to Louisville, home of the Leopards, with the boys basketball coach Tom Siegfried. Coach, how are we doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Before we get into this year, I kind of want to just go into a recap of last year because, you guys you called your shot. You're like Babe Ruth calling your shot beginning of the season. You said this was going to be a team to watch last year, and you guys went on a deep tournament run to the regionals too. And, of course, ran into St. Vincent St. Mary's, but it was a great season nonetheless, and I think you guys looked really good at points against St. V's. What are the practices looking like? Recap last season and what that means going into this year for the Leopards.
Yeah, I don't think I've completely recovered from lack of sleep during that tournament run last year, but I'll take it. It was surreal, and when people say that just survive and advance, that truly is what it is. And you just worry about one game at a time, and you win that game. You feel fortunate. There were so many great teams that we had the ability to find a way to win. I'll use that term there. And, like you said, we have getting to St. V's, and then what they did in the semis and finals made us feel a lot better about our loss because they were just a different level than anyone else, maybe even D1, anyone else last year. They were very, very good, but just really proud of our kids last year. We just had the total package. I mean, obviously you got to have skill. We had that, but there's a lot of skillful teams that I've had or other people have had that didn't have the chemistry like we had last year. And it just seemed like whoever we put in at any given time, they did what they had to do or tried to do what they had to do to bring us forward. And that was successful. So I think with that being said, we know, I mean, there's enough guys around here. We know what that looks like. And I think that's the advantage from having a deep tournament run. It's no longer the coaches just saying it. The kids saw it firsthand. They know what they have to do. And right now we're just trying to find the people to fit into those spots and make another long tournament run. But we also understand too, with last year, it's a long season. So we're trying to build up to that point and not make any practice, any scrimmage, any event too big. But at the same time, we want to keep growing and get ready for another tournament run.
In previous discussions with you, Coach, that's exactly what you mentioned, that it wasn't going to be a one-off year. You want to continue to build this program. You want to continue challenging it, and you want to ultimately grab that brass ring with this program. And looking at what you got in practices, who are some of the names that are standing out? Who are some returning faces for this Leopards program? And who are some of the new faces that we're going to have to get used to over there in Louisville?
Yeah, we have a veteran team back. A lot of guys that contribute to that team last year, and we lost 4 seniors, and I would say those 4 seniors were just instrumental in being great leaders, great team players, and they're going to be sorely missed. A lot of times, to the general public, you look at teams and you say, oh, well, maybe these 2 or 3 didn't play as much, and they should be easy to replace, and it's not the case. Obviously, Tyler Bolden was the guy that played the most out of those, but with Saber Lemoyne and Zach Seaman and AJ Langenhold, they all had huge parts in our tournament run. Coming this year, obviously it starts with Will Aljancic. He had a tournament run last year that, to be quite honest with you, I turned into a spectator at times to watch because it was tremendous. The game against Glenville, I think will go down in Louisville history as one of the greatest individual performances, especially on that stage that we've ever had in this program. And then right after that, a fellow All-Ohio guy in Hayden Nigro, who's a junior this year, will obviously being a senior this year and just committed to Findlay. But Hayden Nigro is going to be that guy this year as well. I think you're going to see a like performance like Will did last year as a junior. Hayden has unbelievable upside. He's going to be probably a D1, 2 guy in college ranks and just a tremendous player. Those are 2 of our biggest offensive threats, but we have numerous other guys that are going to be big parts this year. Senior wise, as far as leadership, we have Charlie Roberts back, who ran the point for us last year. Caden Weimer and Kyle Vesley, very solid role players in our program. And that rounds out, our seniors with Chase Mueller, who also gave us some big minutes last year and just super athletic, great football player as well. And we're looking forward to what he's going to do at the top of our press this year. Junior wise, we talked about Hayden, and then we have a huge crop of sophomores. Braden Gross and my son Bo will be in that starting lineup more than likely. And Braden had 17 rebounds in the district final last year as a freshman. He looks really, really good. Put on a couple more inches. My son put on a couple inches and will help run the point this year with Charlie Roberts. And then we have numerous other guys, Ashton Marshall, Colton Lloyd, Tate Aljancic, Avery Andrachek, all sophomores that will all be competing for those role minutes off the bench. But overall, our depth is tremendous. We have a lot of youth, but a lot of experienced youth because we were playing so many young guys last year. So just looking to keep, paying attention to details. Our practice plan today, we always have a focus, and it's just attention to details. We can do a lot of things naturally good, but in order to be great, we got to really pay attention to those details.
I think everyone just heard that there's another Al Jancic in the program.
There is. And he's growing like a weed as well, just like Will. He's making that sophomore year grow. He's up to about 6'1", 6'2", and I think he was like 5'9", 5'10" last year at this time. So, yeah, I will. I'll keep them coming through as long as we can.
I love to see it too. And I mean, you guys do what most great teams do. You're progressing the younger crop while you're also competing with the older guys. And I mean, I feel like that's what you need to do to have longevity and success. What are some of the things? Because I know you'll start a variety of guys. You'll interchange guys. There's really no playing time that's truly solidified unless you earn it. How do you earn it then? What are the things you're looking for in the practices that kind of earn playing time, earn starting time for the Leopards?
And that's a great question because we just got done talking a lot about this last week in our scrimmage. We scrimmaged Green and Cuyahoga Falls, and when we talked about toughness, we talked about defense. You can't have 5 scorers on the floor all the time, and guys got to fall into roles. So we're looking for guys that have good chemistry together, bring something to the floor. And maybe it's something different than others. And I've always had a guy or two on my team that play a lot of minutes that maybe the average fan looks at and says, why is that guy out there so much? They do all the little things. There was a gentleman a couple of years ago on our district final team that lost to Triway and had a great run, Ryan Pukish, who played about 30 minutes a night for us. I think he averaged like 1.8 points a game. But he would set screens. He was our defensive stopper. He was our chemistry guy. He made sure that the locker room was right. So that's what we're looking for right now. We have a pretty good idea of where most of our scoring is going to come from. But we're looking for how are those other guys going to step in and do the little things? How are they going to be ready to practice? How are they going to work hard? Our program is basically built on working hard. I mean, it seems very, very simple, but if you outwork other people, we're going on, I think, 12 straight years of winning records and most years over 15, 16 wins. It's really not that hard. I mean, some nights you're going to shoot well, some nights you're not, but as long as you have guys in there that are going to get big stops, get offensive rebounds, and do all the little things, I feel like you're going to come out on the right side of the margin more times than not.
You hinted it last year and it got released. I mean, the schedule this year, once again, no laughing matter. Yeah. It's going to be, it's tough. It's a tough schedule to try to get 15, 16 wins in. Shout out the schedule. Shout out some of the matchups that you're excited for and what you guys are going to need to do strengths-wise, playing to your strengths to get those wins this season, continue that success.
Yeah, it's great to have the success that we've had. I mean, it's wonderful at the end of the year. It's great banquet, speeches, all that kind of stuff, and postseason accolades and college scholarships. But when you go to schedule, it can be difficult, especially when you're independent. You don't have built-in 12, 14 games. So you have to find 22 teams to play. And it's really difficult, and we do a lot of it on purpose. This year, like you said, I didn't think it could, but it got a lot harder. We added Menor to our schedule this year. We play them we're the featured game at the Hardwood Classic. We're going to Florida for 3 games this year. I believe it hasn't been completely set, but there's a team from Utah, Alabama, and Maryland, I think, that we're playing down there. And they match us up based on how you do the year before. So I'm sure they're pretty good teams coming back as well. We open the year at Perry, at McKinley, Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. 2 games on the road right from the get. We play Hoover, we play Lake, we play Massillon. There's numerous Division I teams, Boardman, Ed Fitch. We play basically the D1 programs from any surrounding school in any league. So that's where we're at. I mean, we're D1 this year. We did get bumped up to D1 by, I think, 5 or 6 boys. We welcome the challenge. Obviously people can look at it and say, well, if you're D2, you'd be one of the favorites. And that's probably true, but we don't really look at it that way. I told our team. We have two Division II district titles, and it's time to put a Division I district title on the wall as well. So that's our goal this year. We want to win as many games as we can, obviously, but we obviously want to win a Division I district title. That's the goal for the Louisville program this year.
And I mean, you look at that too, Coach. What a lot of coaches would say, there's only 5 guys on the court too, so it's my 5 against your 5 at all times too. I mean, I'd take the bets with those Leopards too, and the guys that you got bringing back. Let's talk about the coaching staff that you're going to be bringing back, or what the coaching staff you will have. I know sometimes they change, sometimes they stay the same, but they're all very integral to building a program like you're trying to do. So talking about that, who are the big coaches that are going to be returning for you, and some other big names if you want to shout them out here as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just the continuity of our program, even coaching, you're absolutely right, is huge. We kept most of it the same. We've added to it. Owen Grimoy and Nick Schillig will be helping us again. They're both past Leopards. They both played for me. They've both been here for multiple years. Nick's been with me longer than any assistant I've had. Owen does a lot of the off-season work. He's really, really good on the individual side of things. I'm getting old and Owen's young, so he can still run around the gym and do those things with the guys. We added a gentleman this year that coached at Jackson for a few years and played at Perry, Dave Wirtz. He's going to be doing our freshman / JV this year a little bit. And then Corey Perez, who also played for me, will be in that kind of JV varsity assistant role as well. So we're very fortunate. These kids know it too, how fortunate they are to have a great staff around them. And we have a great community, great supporting cast that just get behind us. I mean, we had a meet the team night the other night, and we had probably 800 to 1,000 people in there for meet the team night. And we had a dunk contest. We had a 3-point contest with the girls program, who's going to be really, really good this year as well. Coach Kudo has them playing at a very high level. So it's just a lot of excitement with winter sports at Louisville right now. And we're just looking forward to, kind of making this thing go out as far as we can and really pushing it into deep March.
The baseball team also brought success, and we got the 2 consecutive seasons of just how passionate this Leopards community was. I wasn't a stranger to it, but I think a lot of people on the YSN network were introduced to how passionate this Louisville team is and how passionate this community is for these teams. Looking at that, I want to give you that time for a shameless self-promotion. I know you don't need it. I know the community doesn't need it, but shout out some of the people that might be on the fence as to why they need to get out and support this team this year.
It's just a fun team to watch. I mean, obviously everybody likes to watch good teams. I mean, that's obvious, and so on and so forth. But as far as the excitement, the way that they play, most people leave our games and they just say, man, I just can't believe how hard your kids play. And, that's just a testament to them. We just pretty much put it out there, and, we replicate what our community is. I believe our community is a blue collar community, and they appreciate hard work. They can accept failure as long as you're doing everything you can in the right way to try to win the game, and teach them life lessons of what it takes to be a good teammate, to be a good worker, and so on and so forth. So I just think it's a fun team to watch. I think you're going to have a lot of excitement this year, uncommon athleticism for our program, a lot of hungry young men that really enjoy being with each other. Our kids do a lot of stuff together. They hang out together. You can see it on the floor. And like you brought up the baseball and basketball back-to-back seasons of regional final, I was able to be the official scorer for a couple of those games. And it's amazing, whether you're on the sideline or you're in the midst of the fans, how they support, and they show up in waves. And it's really fun to coach and be part of a community like this. I was lucky enough for both my kids to come through. My daughter playing volleyball went to a district final. My nephew had the big home run in I believe it was the district final versus Marlington, and then obviously my son being a big part of the basketball. And so it's really served my family well, and we hope we still have a few more memories to create here.
Listen, you got to get out here and support the Leopards. If you haven't been to a Louisville game, you need to see them in person. It's just not the same if you don't. But if you can't see them in person, you know where you could find them. We'll have some games on ysnlive.com for you, completely free, thanks in part to our wonderful sponsors. As we get ready for the 2022-23 season, our friends over there in Stark County, the Louisville Leopards, are gearing up and getting ready, as this has been another edition of Coach's Corner on ysnlive.com.